welcome back. We're here today to introduce Selena again to do a spring 2010 look. What we're doing today, we're going to use a NARS foundation as well as mix it with a Sotis foundation. Generally, with darker skin tones, more specific, you'll end up mixing the two foundations together to get the right color match for the skin. All right, so I usually use my hand as a palette. I've already got Sotis on my hand right now, and it is a little bit more on the yellow tone, so we're going to incorporate some NARS and balance it out that way. So we shall begin. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Right. Let's do it. So I'm just putting a little bit on my hand, using my hand as a palette. Of course it's clean. Always work with clean hands. But this is where the real kind of makeup artist in you will come out in trying to match and mix a couple colors to match Selena's skin tone. So generally I start around the darker areas of the skin. And of course, always with a foundation brush. Foundation brush really gives you a nice sheer coverage. You can keep adding, you can keep building the coverage if you like, but because it's spring, we want sheer, we want fresh, ready for 17th Avenue, Calgary, like she can go day into evening comfortably. So generally, I start around the darker areas of the skin, and of course, always with a foundation brush. Foundation brush really gives you a nice sheer coverage. You can keep adding, you can keep building the coverage if you like, but because it's spring, we want sheer, we want fresh, ready for 17th Avenue, Calgary, like she can go day into evening comfortably. And I'm just mixing again. Key to having great complexion is not all about foundation, but you have to make sure you have great skincare. And we'll do that in another segment with Sheanomi and with myself. We could do a skincare segment because great skin always starts with great skincare, which Selena already is practicing, obviously. She's got great skin. So we're still just doing our base foundation. And see how I'm working just areas of the skin? I'm not doing completely all over. You want to place the product and work it out. So really you're getting a nice sheer effect of the foundation. And I'll just get you to look up. So now that we have a foundation look, we're going to go ahead and do the under eye and over eye concealer. So just look up for me. So again, you want to keep the tone 1 or 2 or 3 steps lighter than the natural concealer that we already did, just to give the eye a little bit of highlight. And close. And always doing the inner corner of the eye. We talked about that on when I did Naomi's makeup earlier. This just gives you a very awake, vibrant look. Open and look up. And always, when you're doing concealer, always do the inner corner of the eye with the brush. You know, I'm using my finger just to warm up the product after I've applied it. Close. But if you don't use a brush, you don't get right into the corner of the eye. And that's very important. As we discussed earlier, that's where the darkest part of the eye is. And open. So with your leftover concealer, it's for the face and for the eye. Any blemishes or redness you can find on the face, go ahead and use the rest of it. I like to bring my concealer down a little bit into the orbital bone, which is just the higher cheekbone, into the eye area. It creates a nice palette for highlighting when we go ahead and highlight, which will be pretty quick here. Sound good, Selena?
Yes.
All right. I'd like to introduce another product we'll be using, again on the eyelids, the Smashbox Photo Op. Great highlighter, great vibrancy for around the eye area. We're going to use it as a primer. It doesn't say that it's a primer, but from my workings with it, my expertise, I find it works really, really well to hold the eye makeup on all day and into the evening. Great for weddings or for Selena's 2010 spring look. So I just place a tiny bit. It's quite liquefied, so you don't need to put a lot on. And I always use my finger. You'll see I use my finger quite a bit. I like it because it warms up the product and makes it more movable across the skin rather than using a brush due to the heat of the touch. So just on the top of the lid. So I'm going to go ahead with a nice, this is more of a spring fiery look, especially with Selena's skin color. We've got different shades of bronze, reds. To me, it reminds me of the Grand Canyon, actually. So we're going to go ahead and just put a little bit of shimmer over the eye. Kind of a goldy beige. The reason we're actually going to go really light on the eye today, because we're going to go with a stronger lip color. I don't know if everybody watched the Oscars, but everybody there had very, very bright lips with a nice contradictory, soft, neutral eye. So just see how that's a nice shimmer just on the lid, down to the lash line, chin up. See? Beautiful. So that's our base for the eye. Now, due to Selena's darker nature, I'm going to go in just with a little bit darker contour, eye contour, starting at the outer corner of the eye and working my way in. This will just add a little bit of depth and again contour around the eye area. But you don't want to use too much. With most products, most eyeshadows that you buy that are artist blend, you can keep adding the color because the pigment's very strong. And always go from the outer corner of the eye and work your way in. Again, we'll go back to saying the inner corner of the eye is the darkest. So you don't want to apply your color right into the inner corner. Otherwise you'll have too much dark there already. There's enough dark. So always work your way out of the outer corner of the eye to the inner part of the eye. So I'm going to move into Selena's eyebrows. We're going to do our eyebrows before we actually do her lashes and the sculpturing of the face. She already has dark eyebrows, so we're just going to play on that and give them a little more shape. They have a lot of shape already, but we're just going to define the shape. So I'm taking my Sotis eyebrow pencil, in blonde. Just going along up the line that she already has. A good key point with doing eyebrows, always go above the brow when you're lining it. Never go underneath, because you always want the brow to be higher. You always want it to create a nice big arch. Makes the eye look brighter and larger. And the good thing about this color, it's a few shades lighter than her natural hair color. So like we talked about before, you won't have tattooed eyebrows. You'll have a nice, this is actually working with the highlight of her hair. So sometimes you'll go with a low light and you'll go with a highlight, so dark and a light color. This is the lighter color, and then we'll go into a darker just to finish the brow. So we're going to do a highlight and a low light for the brow. So this would be the darker, this would be the darker part of her hair, but see how I'm just wisping through the eyebrow, not drawing a line. You never want to draw a line, especially with the darker color. You've already given the highlight, so just go a little bit darker, just to blend in with her natural hair color. There we go. So now that we've accentuated Selena's eyebrows, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of bronzer, especially for spring. I like to do bronzer, as I talked about earlier, all year round, but spring is essential. And again, doing our number 3, so here, here, and here, the sun naturally hits in both, or sorry, all 3 places. So we'll just sweep the brush here and here. And again, this adds contour to her face. You kind of want to work with the cheekbones that she has. And just go under the neck a little bit, under the chin, just to blend it out. Another trick we're going to do right after, we're going to add a little bit of bronzer highlight into the cheekbone area, which is something fun. I like to do it when I'm going out, even daytime or nighttime, because it just adds a little bit of highlight, a little bit of dewy look to the skin, kind of the J-Lo look, which still is very trendy. It's never gone out of style since the 90s, since Jenny brought it back from the walk, whatever. So using this, it's a Tony and Tina gel. It's quite bronze. You just want to use your finger and just add it into the orbital bone again. This looks phenomenal on pictures, and we'll be doing a little photo op at the end of our editorial for our spring look. So it's fresh, it's street friendly, and also photo friendly. So we've bronzed Selena up, got her ready for spring 2010. I'm adding just a little subtle eyelash. Now, this could kind of go into evening. You could wear them in the day as well. She's got great eyelashes, but because we're doing a photo shoot after, we're going to apply eyelashes just close. This will just give the look a more defined finishing touch. So we'll let that dry, and again, using the Duo adhesive, surgical adhesive, fabulous product.